capitalistic mentality of achieving the thing that makes you happy, rather than being happy. When you're happy as a being, it's internal. When you are trying to hold something that makes you happy, that's fleeting. That can't last. It only lasts for as long as you hold it. And the tighter that you hold it, back to our whole watch pot and focusing on the one thing at the expense of all the other things, the less likely you are to achieve true contentment. Because all of your focus is on holding that one thing that you thought would bring you the happiness that you were desiring. And once you become clear that happiness is contentment and that it doesn't exist outside of you, it's a balance of all of you. The spiritual aspect of self, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional. Hi, and welcome back. September the 14th, 2025. It's another beautiful fall day here in Kamloops, BC. Have you ever heard the saying, a watch pot never boils? The longer that you spend focusing on something and the more you want it to happen, the slower it seems to go. It's like if you were driving to a destination you're very excited to get to, and you just can't wait to get there. You're just so excited, and it seems to take forever to get there. And yet on the way home, the road seems so much shorter because you're not focused on getting home anymore. You're driving home. It's that intensity of desire, of wanting something so badly, that's what you keep thinking about as, oh, I can't wait, I'm so excited, I can't wait. And that is exactly what it's like when you keep saying, I want to be happy, I want this thing, if only I could be happy, I would be happy if. And the more that you just focus on that being happy, the less likely you are to be happy, because you believe it's something outside of yourself, instead of recognizing that it's a culmination of all parts of yourself, which you are equally responsible for giving attention to. Something similar caught my attention when I was watching Big Think on YouTube. And Tal Ben Shahar, who I've watched other videos related to the things that he talks about and how he thinks, and talking about anti-fragility, but specifically with his model, Spire, a holistic model of well-being. And that's acknowledging that the more that you focus on being happy, the less happy people are. And he, from that research and the studies that himself and others had completed on the topic of happiness and how to achieve it, he came up with the model Spire, S-P-I-R-E. So it's spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional. And within each one of those realms, it's acknowledging that the more that you focus on well-being in all those areas, so your spiritual well-being, right? So the meaning and purpose and value of life. Physical would be, nutrition, exercise, focusing on those things. Intellectual would be being curious and creative to gain more new knowledge and understanding. Relational would be healthy relationships, nurturing them. And emotional would be this emotional balance and regulation. And the more that you focus on those areas, the more likely you are to experience that desired feeling of being happy. And it's, to me, always been the case that the more that I give all my attention to one thing, these other parts of myself also lose the attention they require. It's as though it's a trade-off. Instead of having balance in all of these areas, because you're giving that attention to all of the areas, a holistic, balanced state of being, you are instead starving the others parts of self, the aspects of self that require the same amount, equal amounts of attention. So it's choosing one over the other, which then leaves you depleted, moving you further away from that state of happiness that you're seeking. And of course, there are so many things to consider, because we all have a different understanding and acceptance of every word that we use, every experience or remote emotional response, intellectual response, relational, physical, spiritual. We have different interpretations of what these things mean. To be balanced, to experience well-being, to feel that sense of satisfaction and contentment. And that's perfect. Because if you are striving for balance, it's you who needs to be balanced, which is individualized for you, uniquely you. And the more balanced you are and engage and interact with the world around you, that energy you're admitting becomes infectious. And others will then seek to experience that same level of cohesiveness, integration, because they see it in you and they wonder how you became this enlightened being. And it wasn't based on someone else's interpretation of these areas, it's yours. And finding the way to integrate for yourself so that you can then experience the version of happiness that you're seeking. The best definition of happy, the way I understand it and experience, is this sense of contentment. Just this sense of satisfaction, feeling it. And when you feel it very deeply, that sense of contentment, there is no other way around it. You will show it. You will show that sense of peace. In a world that is very self-focused, not soul-focused, but self-focused, and wishes to compartmentalize aspects of self in order to gain something. So that capitalistic mentality of achieving the thing that makes you happy, rather than being happy. When you're happy as a being, it's internal. When you are trying to hold something that makes you happy, that's fleeting. That can't last. It only lasts for as long as you hold it. And the tighter that you hold it, back to our whole watch pot and focusing on the one thing at the expense of all the other things, the less likely you are to achieve true contentment. Because all of your focus is on holding that one thing that you thought would bring you the happiness that you were desiring. And once you become clear that happiness is contentment and that it doesn't exist outside of you, it's a balance of all of you. The spiritual aspect of self, physical, intellectual, relational, and emotional. In moving yourself away from that compartmentalized sense of identity. Well, if I want to fit in, I need to be this thing. And this thing is currently accepted as ABC. So I must be ABC all the time so that I continue to fit into that box. But I also believe DEF. And DEF, though, belongs in that other box over there. So I can't show the people that accept me over here my other parts of self, because they might not like it and then I won't be accepted. But I'm denying these other parts of myself. So if I show those other parts, I need to be that over there. And this is how masks, this is wearing a mask. It's becoming the thing that is pleasing to that environment so that you fit in and belong. But when you take the masks off and you get rid of them and you elevate yourself to see the bigger picture of the entire alphabet that you are, the ABC, the DEF, right? And so on and so on. And you elevate to see the entire alphabet that you are, all your characteristics, all the things that make you uniquely you. You can appreciate how sometimes A and H are a perfect combination, or D and Z. And you don't force yourself to fit in any box. You just are. Whatever is being called out of you in that moment. And I think that's the piece of integration. Because using this way of identifying the aspects of ourselves that deserve our attention, all of these aspects are spiritual, physical, intellectual, relational, emotional. And there's so many ways to talk about these things. This is just one particular model. When we look at all of those and we give equal attention to all of them, our level of happiness, that sense of contentment, just is. You don't have to go get it. You don't have to achieve it or anything else. It just is. Every experience that you have, every interaction, regardless of how long, how short it is, offers you something. It offers you pieces of a puzzle that you can put together. And it doesn't require your sole focus to become so fixated on it. it's your awareness that these things constantly are evolving and happening for your growth. And another thing that I loved, because I've read this and researched this before in my trauma studies and training, is the idea that there's only one version of something. So that trauma has a negative result. And it's something to actually pity. When a trauma experience happens, you pity people, you have sympathy for them, and of course, you feel badly for them, for sure. And when people are aware that through trauma is growth, it's evolutionary. It forces growth. It forces growth, or it forces stagnation. And ultimately, if you become aware of all the ways in which you have evolved from that experience, you will accept the idea of post-traumatic growth over a disorder. And if you've watched any of my previous videos, language is so important to how we relate to ourselves and how we label ourselves and others. And if we're identifying that we've been through something and now we have this disorder, which is a detriment to us, we carry the burden of it. We carry the weight of it. It slows us down. But if we identify it as post-traumatic growth, we see it as a experience that has excelled and benefited us, so that we have become a higher, more functioning version of ourselves that we never would have reached had we not gone through the experience in the first place. And I know some people will say, oh my gosh, that's putting too positive of a spin on something and it was horrible. And identifying something as growth or a disorder isn't negating the experience. It's what you do with the experience after. Do you choose to continue to exist in the experience, reliving it over and over and over? And I have to tell you, I have a problem with exposure therapy, because I do believe that oftentimes that gets you stuck, repeating cycles, doubling down, really honing in on those. But if you look at it from a sense of, I've grown from it, this experience has evolved and changed me. It was horrific, that's not going to change. But from there, look how far I have come. And look at the new trajectory I have from it that I never would have had before. And through that, looking at that Spire model, putting balance in each one of these areas, attention, focus, and not on one thing that starves out the rest, that feels like a smarter, more effective way of getting what you are looking for. Ultimately, contentment, satisfaction, feeling like you are making a difference in the world. Thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and stay connected. And if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that would be awesome too. Bye.